Hi, this is Ayla from the Brooklyn Kitchen. Me and my teammates will be periodically showing up on your Instagram feed and our website to give you guys some tips and tricks, a little bit of cooking knowledge on what to do when you're quarantined during this time. So, first things first, you've seen us do pie the other day, so you know all about mise en place. If you don't, mise en place means everything in its place. So how I'm starting today is I'm going to start and do some pickles. So I had some cucumbers that our kitchen's closed for a couple weeks. So these pickles got to go somewhere. So we are going to these cucumbers need to go somewhere. So we are going to turn them into just a quick kosher dill pickle. Some of my other friends might be doing some preserving and some fermentation, some more pickling things throughout the week, so check out some cool variations. We're just going pretty plain and simple here. I have cut my pickles in a myriad of different shapes. So I have some biased cuts that are kind of like that. I have some where I've done just some random chunks, and then I've done, of course, your good old-fashioned just cucumber pickle sticks or spears. So first things first, I've cut all my cucumbers up. Before I did that, I wanted to get things rolling. So I have a pot here of equal parts white distilled vinegar and water. So I'm turning my flame on high heat here because I want to bring this to a boil. Now, people will probably question me on this, but I have no idea how much salt and sugar I put in. I will figure it out and we can get you a real recipe for this. But I usually do per quart, maybe a tablespoon of salt, 2 tablespoons of sugar. So I always do more sugar than salt, just a little bit more, but then I also, depending on what I'm making, if I'm doing beets, you know, sometimes I'll put a little bit more sugar in my beets. Also, sometimes your beets are already sweet, so keep those things in mind. If you want something to be a little bit more salty, obviously go in the direction of more salty, but this is also how I measure. So I have 4 quarts of liquid in here. I'm just gonna do one of those. People at home, you might not like how I measure things, but for things like pickles, a lot of savory applications, to be honest, it doesn't totally matter. It's not so much the science of baking where if you do one thing wrong, everything else will be mixed up. Okay, so what am I doing with my pickles? So I have a container, whatever I'm choosing. I just have a plastic deli container here, but I have it halfway through. So things I'm going to add to it. I have some dill that I've chopped up here. Dill is the one that looks kind of like fennel fronds, but that's what's going on. Well, it's a nice little, there's some peppers in there. You'll see what's going on. So I'm going to layer some things in here. So I have some dill. I'm going to do some garlic. And the best way to get your garlic out of your paper, back of your knife and the heel of your hand, give it a little whack, and that should come out pretty easily. You can slice these up for cucumbers or for pickles. I just like to crush it and kind of put it in whole to get its flavor. I'm going to throw some of those in there. Again, this is up to you as the chef. Do you like a lot of garlic? Put 5 cloves in there. If you're just like, I'm a regular garlic person, put 2 cloves in there. If you hate garlic, don't put it in. The only thing to keep in mind is when you pickle garlic, a lot of the times it turns blue. So do not be alarmed. Nothing has gone moldy. It'll definitely be a color that you will know is not mold, but the inside root of the garlic, for whatever reason, oxidation maybe, but it turns a little bit blue. Don't be alarmed. Also, I have grabbed some things, and I will move my camera so you can see. Okay, so things I've put in here today. I'm going some Aleppo pepper because I love it. It's a heat that is not really super spicy, but more flavorful. I also have some regular old crushed red pepper flake because that does have the heat that we're looking for. So that's what's going on there. Flavor, heat. Again, you can put as much or as little of all these things as you want, and there's always a ton of different options that you can do besides these things. Black peppercorns just add a little spicy pepperiness, not spicy in this sense, but just sort of that, you know, black pepper. I have some celery seed and some coriander seeds, which I just like. Try it out, see if you like it too. And then I have poured these into a little bowl. You can either pour it into a little bowl, mix it up and add it, or you can just grab from each thing and pour it in. So that's all I'm doing there. And then I'm gonna top the rest of my cucumbers because I wanna have a little bit of mix in between each thing. So I have more dill on the top, more garlic in here, the rest of that mix. So what you can see here now, I have a couple of my pickles ready to go. So that's what's gonna happen. As my vinegar mixture of, again, equal parts water and vinegar, and some people might not do this measurement. Some people might be like, I want it more vinegary, or I want it a little bit more mellow, and those variations can easily change. Our building is doing some construction here, so hopefully you can't hear all that, but so as soon as this comes to a boil, that's all I'm looking for because I want everything to be equal temperature. I want my sugar and salt to sort of dissolve in there. When it comes to a boil, I'm going to turn it off. I'm just going to pour it directly over my veg. So there's no point where I'm cooking this stuff in the liquid. It is basically cook this, and then the residual heat that is from your pickling liquid will in turn cook this stuff. Because it's not directly cooking in here, this will more likely keep things a little bit crispier, so you'll have that crunch in your pickle versus soggy pickles. I like to let this cool on my countertop, and then when it's like not too hot where I can handle it, I'll move it to the fridge. I will also keep it uncovered in the fridge till it's fully cooled, and then I will pop it back up. You can totally do this in jars. You can totally sterilize cans and keep it on the shelf for a ton, really long. I don't know, 6 months or. But if you don't use a can, or if you just put it in a plastic liquid, pickles do last much longer than your other food because of the acid and things that are in there to fight bacteria. But yeah, I would say you got a couple weeks on these, but always do a smell test, always give it a taste. Look at it and just make sure everything's good. You guys know what pickles look like. So that is our kosher pickle 101 dill pickle. What are we calling these? Spicy dill pickles, I'm gonna say. All right, we will see you again later in the week.